while business profitability is up, productivity is up, unemployment still remains a huge challenge. And many businesses have become more productive because they've taken costs out of the system, they've managed very efficiently. How do you get the American jobs machine going again?
Well, the biggest driver of how fast the unemployment rate comes down is how fast we grow. And the biggest determinant of how fast we grow now is really going to depend on these two fundamental factors. One is what happens in the world, meaning in Europe and in the Gulf, and because of oil. And frankly, just to be direct about it, whether Republicans in Congress decide they want to legislate things that are good for growth in the short term. So what we think the right economic agenda for the country is for us to legislate a set of investment incentives, investments in things that matter for long-term growth, rebuilding America's infrastructure, more education, more spending on innovation, basic science and research, better skills for Americans, tied to long-term fiscal reforms that restore sustainability. And if we were able to legislate progress on those things in the short term, that would make a big difference for confidence. It would make a difference for the rate of growth of the American economy in the short run. But to be realistic, it's going to take a long time still for us to fully repair the damage, particularly unemployment that came as a cause of the crisis. But the private sector has created 3.2 million jobs since job growth resumed. That's actually pretty strong job growth in the private sector compared to the last two recoveries. And it's pretty strong given the aftershocks of the crisis. We all want it to be stronger, though. But the fundamental reality is how fast we grow is going to depend on those two factors. Is Europe successful in stabilizing the crisis in Europe? And can we help build the political foundation in the United States for the type of pro-growth investments tied to long-term fiscal reforms that are the obvious imperative for our future?
You negotiated with the Republicans. Do you think there's any chance that they would pass some of the things the President talked about in the State of the Union?
I think you have to wait and see. I think they're talking a little bit about infrastructure now for the first time. They've said they're going to pass this payroll tax cut, of course, which has a positive but modest impact on income, which is important. We feel like there's a compelling case for a targeted set of investment incentives that would be good for improving the economics of investing and building the United States. Those things have not typically been partisan issues. They've had very broad support among Republicans in the past. And, our view is there's nothing standing in the way of progress on those things, even if it's going to take some time to work out the bigger fights on tax reform and entitlements.